If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option, as Sori says. 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at insori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go on the Village, facebook.com/VillageXchange. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. A child shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener.
All right.
We are at the foothills of the WATCHALONGS stream of the Dream Theater record that originally came out in 1989. Dear listener.
Prayers for hell. She's under the weather.
When Dream and Day Unite. So the first song
is A Fortune in Lies. The
yeah.
second one is called Dream Theater.
I think it's called, is it called Dream Theater?
Dream Theater?
Very, very, very interesting that it would be called Dream Theater if it's called Dream Theater.
Well, can you just check over here to see if that's the song number 2 that he had?
Yeah, let me see here. Yeah, look. Nope. Status Seeker. Did you download them in
I downloaded them in the order that he had, so maybe this isn't a complete album.
Wacky Tour. Well, it's 8 songs, and it's all from that album. It looks like Wacky Tour. Is that the second song? Is that the next song that we need to do? Wacky Tour. Is it called
Dream Theater, or is it called
Status Seeker?
Status Seeker.
Yeah. Is it called? Is Status Seeker the next song, or is Dream Theater the next song? That's interesting that they would name it that.
I know. I guess they really liked that name, that title. Name your band and the song. But a lot of bands do that, don't they? No, it would be the album.
Yeah, they usually name the
right.
record.
Status Seeker is a second song, says Gabriel. Oh, the Wacky Tour.
Okay. Status Seeker is the next song.
Yep, Status Seeker. No, you put Status Seeker. We just were looking at it.
Seeker.
We were
the one that had it wrong. Don't worry.
Do you want that? How does that look?
I don't know. I have to check.
You like this better?
No, I mean either way is fine to me. It's a little bit more of a clubby feel.
Yeah,
I'm good with it.
Give us a little bit of a vibe.
Hopefully, I can get this thing to speed up a little bit. All right, guys, here we go. Status Seeker.
Let's
He was
check
right.
it out.
We were wrong. Let's check it out. Status Seeker, Dream Theater is the band. Let's do it. This definitely sounds like a poppy song.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll figure it out someday. I want to know you now. You know I've always believed you. Nothing is sacred. You draw the bottom line with a dollar sign. Change of opinion at the drop of a dime. Graceless intrusion. Are you sanctified in your judgment of me? All that I deserve is what you weren't able to see. In the garden where the seeds were still, I favored the view that stood strong in the sun. As I reached for the profit of my prize, I found I had trampled the forgotten one. Nothing is sacred. You draw the bottom line with a dollar sign. Change of opinion at the drop of a dime. Graceless intrusion. Are you sanctified in your judgment of me? All that I deserve is what you weren't able to see. You're running in circles, and I'm turning away. You refuse to believe. Now I'm turning away. Nothing is sacred. You draw the bottom line with a dollar sign. Change of opinion at the drop of a dime. Graceless intrusion. Are you sanctified in your judgment of me? All that I deserve is what you weren't able to see. You're running in circles, and I'm turning away. You refuse to believe. Now I'm turning away.
This is her first record.
Oh wow.
According to Sean Entrikin, Dream Theater first album.
This is
I gotta say,
like a different song from the other one. Like it's so different. It's on the same album, but this one is like very different.
Well, according to Wacky Tour, this was their attempt at being poppy,
Interesting.
which I liked.
I did too.
This was a much more accessible.
It was more accessible for sure.
Dream Theater.
Yep.
More of this.
Yep. 80s babies over here.
Could we max brighten those lights? Maybe? Yeah, guys. I really like this song. Yeah.
You want me to just switch
Go
to
back to
something
that
else?
previous one. Well, not that one. Holy smokes.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
What happened? No.
All right, we'll just complete.
Why would it do that?
I don't know.
Let me just unplug and plug it back in. Hold on.
Is it?
No.
I think that other button is the on button.
Which one?
The one farthest on the other side.
This?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, that is. You're right. I thought it was the brightness button.
Yeah, now we have to adjust the camera.
Oh my god.
All right, yeah, just come.
The color. We'll fix the color after.
Anyway, this album deserved better production. I mean, maybe. I still got the point of the song.
So did I, yeah.
I really like this song.
Yeah, I felt like it had a fun 80s sound.
It's actually right. It was definitely an 80s sound to it, but this is actually one of my favorite Dream Theater songs. And you know, I'm not the biggest Dream Theater guy, but I really, really like this song. But at the same time, like, it's like not really. It doesn't seem to be like pure Dream Theater to me. It seems
agree.
like the record label was like, hey man, like maybe. But again, now what Dream Theater songs average on average like 8.5 minutes or whatever. I don't know. Because like this song again is dealing with the whole sellout thing again that they had to deal with in the first one.
Yeah.
And you know, he starts it off by saying heart sick at the sight of the status seeker. So this is one of those ones where it's like, is he talking about somebody like in the band? Because there have been situations like that where like on the Follow the Leader record, there's a song that's specifically talking about the guys in the band making fun of Jonathan. So it's like, and he literally says like, never thought that the band would call out the man, which is talking about him. It's kind of, it's like a kind of definitely a weird, you know that song where it's like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? That song?
Yeah.
When he's like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Yeah.
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 That's literally about specifically David, but David and Fieldy and Monkey were making fun of him.
No way.
And so he makes a song, and the song actually makes it on the record. It was one of my favorite songs on that record. Reclaim My Place is the name of the song. So, like, is he talking about somebody in the band itself?
I see what you're saying.
Heart sick at the sight of the status seeker. It's like this person, like, you're breaking my heart because you're going with these corporate crazy people.
Oh, because you're a status seeker in that way. I see. Okay.
Right. Or is he talking about himself? Like, yo, I'm going along with this bullshit.
But I'm not really.
But I'm not, you know, I'm not really feeling this. But I'm going along with it. So like, I'm disappointed in myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, but if you look at the thing, it says heart sick at the sight of the status seeker, and then he says, in a sense, I'm not beyond reproach. So I don't think he's talking about himself because he looks at the status seeker, and then he goes, yeah, but I'm kind of participating in this too. Right. So what am I doing? Shout out to Middle Earth in the house.
Hi.
So he says, in a sense, I'm not beyond reproach, which is it's really good for self-awareness.
Yeah, it is.
Because usually, if you can point something out on somebody, you could also see some of it in yourself too. Especially if you're in a niche environment like getting signed to a record label and all the rest of it. Like, there's definitely going to be, you know, some questionable decisions that you have to make. And so I'm glad that he's able to say, in a sense, I'm not beyond reproach. Like, that's important. That's important to acknowledge when you're in those situations. Because a lot of times when people start like ventilating these frustrations with corporations or with capitalism, whatever you want to call it, like, there's usually like this purist, like, I'm above it all, I'm observing these sellouts and all, you know, and he's like, no, like, I'm guilty of it too. That's like a very self-aware, it was like, you know, when Maynard did Hooker with a Penis, and he's talking about this kid talking about how they're sellouts, and Maynard is like, of course I'm a sellout, that's how the record got to you, dummy.
Right.
Like,
how'd you buy this out? Yeah.
Being able to understand that and being able to deal with that, like, to be able to fix that cognitive dissonance, I think is really the difference between sometimes people who are successful and people who aren't.
Right. Right. I would agree with that, because I think that especially at that time period, if you want to get your stuff out there, then you're going to have to scratch the back of the record label. Like, that's what's going to have to happen. So are you willing to do that, or is that just too much? But at the same time, recognizing, that you still had to make that, you still made that decision. I think it's important to recognize. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I think like that's a big thing. I was watching this guy that he did a training thing
with me one time on some, I needed to, surprise, I needed development and X or Y thing, and he was the guy that was leading trading on whatever. And I was watching him, and he had gone through this course where he was talking about how he said, I'm responsible for everything that happens to me in life. And he wasn't doing a very good job of communicating it because it came off like victim blaming. But essentially what he was trying to say was, okay, if I got robbed at 2 a.m., he's saying I'm responsible for that. And what he meant by that was to say, I was out at 2 a.m., I didn't have a weapon on me, and I wasn't practicing situational awareness, and I'm a soldier, I've been to war, so I know better than just walk around with my hand. So he was like, all these things are things that I could have done differently, which would have, in my view, resulted in a different outcome if I would have just practiced these principles. So I'm responsible for that. Okay. He wasn't saying that the guy that robbed him, but what he was saying is, I have influence over every situation that happens. Because he says, if you have no influence in the situation that happened to you, then it happened to you. It is what it is. Yeah. So I thought that was, I understood what he was trying to say, but like one of the main ways to not fall into the quicksand that is self-pity is that self-awareness to where you can go, I'm not beyond reproach. And there's things that I'm doing that aren't right either, or aren't consistent completely with this ideal that I have either. Mm-hmm. And like, that's the first step to being able to actually empower yourself to get the hell out of a bad situation or a bad circumstance, actually, is to be able to say that. And to me, that's one of the reasons why these guys are still around. It's because he had that self-awareness, that mentality. And so he was able to navigate through that shit and still keep his head throughout all that stuff. And, that's one of the biggest things, man. Like, if you can't, accept that about yourself, everybody knows the term I've been using for years and years. You can call it your shadow. You can call it your dark side. You can call it whatever you want to call it. But you've got to be able to acknowledge when it was what your role in the thing that you hate is. And it's not about blaming or pointing the finger. It's about finding the point of empowerment that you have that can get you out of that situation. And whatever verbiage people want to put on it, personal accountability, personal responsibility, self-empowerment, victim, I don't care what you want to call it, put whatever label you want. But that's the only way to always live so that you're on top of circumstances, in my view. And so, like I said, that's why, to me, this band is still around. It's because, and to me, it appears that they've been able to be more and more themselves as they kept sticking with it. As time went on, they were able to be who they were, and they were able to write a 13-minute song with 4 lyrics in it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
probably new opportunities open to them too.
Of course.
Like, they stuck it out, and they stuck with the, I'm sure that they hated what was going on with the record label, but because they didn't give up, they were presented with other opportunities to be able to be more who their authentic self was. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And you got to kind of like ask yourself, like, what's my ultimate goal? There are penultimate goals, and then there are idealistic goals. Like, an idealistic goal would be, I'm going to make 100% pure music without any influence of capital at all. Okay, that's an idealistic goal. Mm-hmm. And there are some bands, I'm sure, at some point in world history that have been able to acquire that idealistic goal. But do you have realistic goals? Because I have idealistic goals, and then I have real world goals. And like, a lot of times, like, a lot of people's like pain points are about identifying those two and being able to let one go and embrace another, or not let go of the ideal. Sometimes you can have the ideal and you let go of it too quickly. So like, there's a lot that goes into it, and that's why, you have to learn from experience. But they're hurting pretty bad right now. Nothing is sacred. You draw the bottom line. You draw the bottom line with a dollar sign. Change of opinion at the drop of a dime. Like, that's very difficult to go through when somebody, like you feel somebody's with you and they're like, yeah, I'm with you. And then when the chips are down, the entire narrative gets changed. And then when you dig down to the bottom of it, it comes down to dollar signs. Like, you sold me out for money. Like, it happens a lot in the corporate world. It's almost expected in the corporate world that I was in at the time. Like, you didn't even get upset at people because, like, you just knew who those people were. You just knew, like, okay, this Brian guy will sell out his own mother. Like, he's not even a bad guy. It's just, when it comes to this work shit and climbing the ladder, he's going to cut your throat, man. But that's a situation that we were all put in. It just so happens that he reacted that way. But that's a situation we were all put in, you know, because the environment we're in. And so, like, yeah, Brian, you know, shout out to, I'm not going to say your last name, but yeah, he was the type of dude that had literally, like, I believe that. Like, I literally believe he would have sold his own mother out for that next promotion. Like, he was that kind of individual. So it's hard when you really get into that world and you start, and you know, record labels are high risk, low reward environments, and so those businessmen, man, they operate accordingly. They don't care about your dream and don't care about none of that shit. I really like this song. It's one of my favorite Dream Theater songs.
Yeah,
this is like workout music to a degree. Like, I really like the song. And you know what? It might have been poppy. It might have been them selling out. But you wrote a song dissing those people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it was a diss record.
Yeah, that's true.
It was
that's
a diss
true.
record.
Here,
so it's
let
like,
me give you what you want.
okay, this is what
Milk
you want.
instead of water.
You know, like I was watching another one with this guy where he was like, I think we were watching it, where he was talking about how, like, the chief drill instructor was like, no, you have to let these kids watch a video. And the guy's like, a video? You kidding me? He's like, yeah. I told them it's Christmas vacation. I told them that they, you know, they're gonna. And he's like, you have to do it. I'm the chief. You have to listen to what I say. He said, fine. So he goes in there and he goes, looks like you bastards are getting a video because it's Christmas. He's like, the chief told you that, and you know we follow our through on our word in the Marine Corps.
They wheeled it in like back in school, like when the TV gets
the
wheeled
resource
in.
room,
the
resource room TV. So they rolled in the resource room TV, and then they're like, so the guy puts it on mute and says, I told him I was gonna have y'all watch it, but I didn't tell him I was gonna have y'all listen to it. So they had to watch the thing on mute. That was this song. It was like, okay, you're telling me to do a poppy song, fine. We're going to do a poppy accessible 4-minute song, but we're going to do all of it talking shit about you and you and you and you and you. And when you hear this song and you see it on MTV and you hear it on the radio, you're going to know that we're talking about you. But there's nothing you can do about it because I'm a once-in-a-lifetime guitarist.
So there.
That's what he did. And for that, he's getting a 9.4. Shout out to whoever put the finger up there. Went after everybody.
This is an 8.9 for me.
All right. Shout out to Floyd. Floyd, yes, in the house. But the real people in the house are Wacky Tour and Dream Theater. They are supplying the music, the metal. We are supplying the reviews. We shall talk.
And shout out to DJ the Wackator for bringing this grand stream.
That was a 9.6. What did you give it?
I got it 8.9.
What? This song is an 8.9? Stuck for a law. Stuck for a law. God forgive you. This was a 9.6 at least, Wacky Tour. It's going into my exercise thingamajig. We'll see you guys on the other side of the break. I'll be back.